Let me see. There we go. Hello. So my name is Beth Learn, and I'm the founder of Fit2B. And you're joining me for a live chat about a topic that I am realizing more and more is very toxic to people who want to work out and just can't seem to get going. There's a variety of reasons why people struggle to exercise even though they know they need to. You have all the information. You know you need it for all the reasons, but you're just not doing it and you're not alone. This is an ongoing struggle for a lot of people. No matter when you're tuning in, feel free to drop a comment. If you're tuning in live, love comments because I'm using a new platform this time that's allowing me to put comments up on screen. There's so many more features. Chris taught me how to use it this morning. I hope I can remember everything. Before I launch into our topic today, I want to get into the habit of sharing something weird to work on. So, this is stemming from the concept that the way we move in our real everyday life dramatically impacts our core. Okay. What's happening in our bellies is related, it is connected to everything else we do. Now, that might feel like it's high pressure. That might start making you feel like, oh man, I'm never going to get it right because I can't get everything perfect. No, you can't. But you can control the controllables. And here's something you can control: the way you put on your bra. So this morning I was putting on my bra and I caught myself doing something that I've never caught myself doing before, but I know I do it all the time. So I don't know how you put yours on, but I could put it around my waist, right? And then I bend over and I'm trying to do it back here. Okay. And I realized, gosh, my shoulders are my scapula is winging. I'm all hunched over, my belly's bulging. This is how I've always put my bra on. I do this hunchy, connect it, and then, get it on. This is something weird that you can work on. And I think it will help you. So here's the solution: put it around your waist, do your best to attach it while standing up tall to the best of your ability, because the way we stand affects the pressure on our belly. Now, I promise I'll show you my stomach. So that's what happens in these live chats. You get to see my real belly, this belly that has carried 3 babies, 2 live births, and it had a diastasis. It does not have one anymore. So if I am standing up tall, this is what my belly looks like. If I hunch over, there's a lot more bulging and pressure. So if I'm hunching over and I'm trying to do my bra strap, everything gets different. So that's your something weird to work on this month, is notice not just how you're putting on your bra, but how you're putting on your clothes. And are you standing up tall as much as you can? Now, some things, it's kind of hard to not round your shoulders a little bit, right? And it's not wrong to round your shoulders. That's a motion that our bodies need to do. But when you find yourself doing an activity chronically, meaning time after time after time after time, chronically, it's happening every day, and you notice that you could do it better, it becomes something you can improve. And you're not going to improve everything all at once, but when you find another piece of the puzzle, you get to put that puzzle in place. And that is always a good thing. So here on Fit2B, we focus on diastases a lot because that is a major concern for a lot of people. More and more information is coming out about it. And the big message we want people to know is that you don't have to stop your life while you deal with your diastases. In fact, living your life can help your diastases. And when you control the controllables, it really makes an impact. One example is the thing I just said. For me, my diastases finished closing down to a 1 finger, so it felt like the space between the knuckles on the back of my hand, right around my navel. It got down to that when I realized that I was loading our fireplace all bent over and hunched and bracing and holding my breath and creating all kinds of pressure. So I adjusted my strategy because that's something I do 5 or 6 times a day during the winter months. It is a huge player in my personal movements every day. So when I fixed that, it got better and the rest of it narrowed down. Now, some people have a lot more things going on, and diastases can take a while. So my journey of repairing my core was, I would say, in total about a year. And I started it a couple years, 2.5 years after I had my last baby. And I had the help of a rehab therapist, Kelly from the Tummy Team. She's amazing. Her online programs are awesome. I highly recommend them. And then I began adapting what I learned into teaching tummy safe fitness. Here's where I'm going to segue into our topic. Tummy safe was a concept that Kelly came up with to describe what I was doing. She had already been using it. She said, "Yeah, you can use that term. That's great." Because we want to create safe strategies for people. It's not that there's a list of exercises that are safe and a list of exercises that are not safe. Because as soon as we use that word, it can create fear. And we want to talk about that today because fear can be toxic, not just mentally, not just woo, mojo, woo, woo, literal toxicity in your body. Think about how your stomach feels when you're scared. Um, Even the Bible says about the bones and how they respond, right? It says things like pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. But the opposite, it's tough. That's tough stuff. Science has played this out over and over again. When people live in chronic fear, it affects their digestion, it affects their bone density, it affects their energy levels, it affects their sleep, it affects their exercise. Now, that's just general. That's just general. And you might be thinking, well, I'm not a fearful person. I don't live in fear. I don't have anything to be scared of. Well, 2020, there was a lot of fear during 2020. I feel like some of that might be easing up now. Um, Other people, maybe there's more. Some people are now more afraid to leave their homes. Uh, some people are now more afraid of doing the wrong thing that can jeopardize their health. But here's some science I came across, and this is what I'm really excited to talk to you about today. And I would love to hear your feedback on all this. So if you have a thought, or you have a question, or you just want to chime in and say, hey, I'm listening from this place in the world, I would love to see that. I am going through a breast cancer rehab coach training, which will enable me to work better with the growing number of women out there that are dealing with breast cancer. It will help me to give them prehab and rehab strategies. Now, I'm not a physical therapist, but I can use these exercise strategies in what I do. So I become a piece of the network that is supporting women who are going through this, and I can do it a lot better. I can know better exercises, better stretches, better protocols to give out that will truly benefit them and not set them back. In the course of going through this training, and I'm only like 25% through it, right? It's going to take me a couple more months. Baby bite-sized pieces is how I'm working through this course because it is really big. Literally, I listen to 10 or 15 minutes of video 4 or 5 mornings a week as part of my morning routine. And that's how I'm getting through it. So I'm listening to this, and it's by Michelle Lyons, who is a fantastic physical therapist we've had on our podcast several times. If you have not come across her work, look her up on our podcast, look her up online. She is a women's health physio out of the UK. Oh my gosh, she's just fantastic. She's presenting all this research. And one of the things was this 2013 study. I'm totally looking at my notes. I have this great project section in my planner. This is the daily planner by Sue Hooley, Homemaker's Friend. I love it because it has project sections. I can't use any other planner. I keep trying to cheat on her and I can't because of the project section. 2013, Weideman published a study about the fear avoidance model of pain. Okay, just this little piece I learned is huge. Check this out. Pain leads to catastrophic thoughts, which leads to fear, which leads to disuse, depression, and disability, which leads to increased pain. Repeat. This is a fear avoidance model, and it definitely plays out in fitness. Think about how, especially you who are struggling with chronic pain issues, chronic fatigue, adrenal dysfunction, diastases, SI joint pain, pelvic girdle pain, pubic symphysis dysfunction, all of those things that have triggered pain in your body. And so you worry about hurting yourself when you exercise. You are in this model, whether you like it or not. And I see this play out in my clients. And that is why when I was reading this or listening, watching the video, I was like, oh my gosh, this is huge. So it goes by FAM for short, fear avoidance model. And I just want you to take a second to think about that cycle again. I'm going to read it to you again. Pain leads to catastrophic thoughts, which leads to fear, which leads to disuse, depression, and disability, which leads to increased pain. Repeat. Pain leads to catastrophic thoughts, leads to fear, leads to disuse, depression, disability, leads to increased pain. Repeat. Disuse, depression, disability. If you're not using your body, you lose the ability to use it. And if the reason you're not using your body is because you're scared, because you've experienced pain in the past, so then you have these catastrophic thoughts that if you do this, it's going to get worse and you're going to be in more pain, you're going to avoid the exercise. Addressing this in yourself could be groundbreaking for you. It could truly change your motivation and your desire and your ability to engage in exercise. As we study pain, and it is being studied, pain is the nerves. It's real. Anybody who tells you your pain is in your head is wrong, okay? However, pain can also be a memory. And when your nerve's last memory of sensation is painful, you don't want to repeat that. Your job becomes recreating a memory pattern, giving the nerves in that area something new to remember, something pleasurable. And I don't mean sex. I mean something enjoyable. Okay, so if you were stabbed in your hand and then you haven't touched your hand, then gently stroking your hand. Your C-section, likely some trauma, likely some fear, likely a scary situation. Even if it was a planned C-section, there's still a lot of emotion that goes into that. If that was the last thing your belly went through, and you haven't touched your tummy or looked at your tummy or let anybody else touch your tummy or look at your tummy since then, of course core work is going to be hard. Of course there's going to be a struggle. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you're having any thoughts, any comments. I would love to hear what you're thinking on this. I'm going to keep talking a little bit because I have some more thoughts to share. Here's the thing. You know you need to exercise, but the fear gets in the way. And I've always approached the way I motivate people to exercise by providing information and saying, okay, let's try to outweigh the struggle with the proper information, the proper guidance. I almost have looked at it like it's a scale. You don't want to exercise over here. So over here, we put all the reasons to exercise and all the motivating factors, and we try to tip those scales. But man, fear is a big tipping point. And if you're having catastrophic thoughts, so then you're avoiding it, you're avoiding what you need to do. So you're not using your body, you're not creating new sensations, you're not creating new strength. The raw truth is you're going to end up in this horrible cycle of disuse, disability, and depression. You guys, exercise fights depression, mental health issues better than any medication on the market. And If you're scared, though, you're in this vicious circle. You've got to summon the strength to override that. And I don't say that lightly. I have dealt with depression. Just last year, I got a diagnosis of general depression. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety when my children were small. Okay. I have been, I currently am utilizing an enormous amount of tools and strategies to be here for you, to be here for my family. All right. It's not severe right now because I've done the work, but I had to do the work. And it was scary. And there are days where I totally fall into this myself. I'm being honest. Okay. I don't tend to avoid exercise because of pain right now, but I did. I had spine surgery a little over 4 years ago. I was living in an excruciating amount of pain going into that surgery and coming out of it. And I had to find the switch to flip inside of me that told me that movement would benefit me more than non-movement, and I had to hit that switch. And it was difficult to find for a hot minute there, even as a fitness professional, okay? I was living in a neck brace, and I was scared to jump, and I was scared to squat, I was scared to put a bar on my back. I even think about it, ugh, like, those feelings kind of come back. So I started with baby steps. I started with the same thing I would tell my clients. Let's start with something so light and easy, it's guaranteed to not hurt. And let's just feel that that feels good. Let's go for the easy wins. Let's go for the gentle 5 minutes of some belly breaths and gentle stretching where it does feel good. And then let's add a little bit more. And I kept adding a little bit more. And I talked to my doctor and I talked to my physical therapist about what was okay to do. And I had nightmares. And I still sometimes wake up with nightmares, you guys, of my disc. I have a disc replacement of my disc popping out of my neck. I have nightmares, and I have to talk myself through those sometimes still at the start of a workout. I have to tell myself logically, this is how it is. This is what was done. This is not going to happen. It felt good the last time you exercised. I'm going to put this one up. So this person says, I think temptation bundling helps a lot with motivation to exercise. Tell me more about that temptation bundling. Listening to favorite music, books, or podcasts while exercising can help you look forward to it and associate good feelings with the exercise itself. I agree. One of my favorite things to do is put on a sitcom. Okay. I worry that you all might judge me a little bit, but some of my favorite sitcoms are Friends and The Big Bang Theory because they're just ridiculous and foolish, but they totally take my mind off stuff and I can do gentle things and they're funny to me. And um, that's gotten me through quite a few things. People might assume that I'm just over here whipping things out and just feeling all hot and on fire. And I do have days like that, but I also have a lot of days where I got to talk myself through it. And maybe that's why I have such a heart for this issue for other people because I've been there. I am there. Okay. I have had a lot of ups and downs. Here's another comment. I have a big fear. I have both shoulders with problems, plantar fasciitis in both feet, diastases, and hernia repair that can become undone or that became undone. So those are legitimate, right? I am not saying that your fears and the injuries you've dealt with are not real and legitimate. What I am saying is that we got to figure out how to break out of this avoidance model. So if the avoidance model looks like pain leads to catastrophic thoughts, which leads to fear, which leads to disuse, depression, and disability, which leads to increased pain. If we reverse that, then it looks like less pain, less catastrophic thoughts, more use, less depression, more ability, less pain, fewer catastrophic thoughts, more use, more ability, more mental balance, less pain. Okay. A lot of that is mental. And this is where my approach to fitness, I think, comes in is we do the gentle stuff and it is enough. If you think that doing the basic things that feel good is not enough, you're also not going to do them. Am I right? Am I wrong? If you think the only way to exercise is painful, sweaty, long, hard workouts, you're not going to do them because you're in pain. So you're going to avoid them. So you're not going to do anything. I'm here to tell you that science bears out that a gentle 20-minute walk is awesome. Even 10 minutes, great. That 5 minutes of stretching before bed does massive things for mood, sleep patterns, and thus energy levels and bone density. We have to look at the health markers. We've got to stop making fitness about also losing weight. Okay? You can be a bigger body and get more healthy. You can have a high BMI and awesome bone density and heart health and low cholesterol. Okay? This is not about size, and we've got to stop turning to fitness as a way to shrink ourselves. We've got to start turning to fitness, especially gentle fitness, as a way to bust into this toxic fear avoidance model because I really think it's a massive key to it. Tell me what you think. Gentle workouts, are they worth it? Do you think 5 minutes of bouncing gently in place does anything? Do you think picking up a couple dumbbells and doing a few curls and a few overhead presses is worth your time? Be honest. I bet a lot of you in your head were like, no, it's not worth it. And guess what? You're not alone. I even struggle to be like, oh, but the science, I always go back to the science. The science says it's worth it. And the science says if I do that little bit today, I'm more likely to do that little bit again tomorrow and then maybe a little bit more next week. And that is where we interrupt the cycle at the usability point. That's what we need to do. So what if you can't shuck the fears? The fears are there. Fear is a liar. I love that song. Look up that song if you've never heard it. Fear is a liar. Oh, so good. Maybe you can't mentally get rid of the catastrophic thoughts, but you can physically choose to use the muscles nearby. And here's another concept. What if you don't use the area that you're scared of? Okay? Your neck hurts. So you do lower body stuff. You're very worried about your core and your hernia. So you do some seated work with your arms. Fit2B offers all of that, by the way. We have over 300 exercise videos, truly something for every season because of this. I want you to be able to do something. Yes, like you're saying, every bit counts. Every bit counts. It truly does add up. I was just reading a study, and I didn't write down where I read it. I fill my Facebook feed is full of researchers and physical therapists and people that I want to learn from. Like if somebody's getting nasty, I just get rid of them. I just unfollow them. I'll still be your friend, but I'm gonna unfollow you. Just today, one of my friends put up something nasty, and I was like, dude, that's inappropriate. You need to take this down. And I unfollowed him because I don't let that in my feed. I want the time I spend on social media to grow me. So as a result, though, I read a lot and then forget where I found it. So this study was saying that if you work out really, really hard for an hour, but then you sit for just 5 or 6 hours in your day, it negates, it gets rid of, it undoes all the work you did while you were exercising. And I was like, Dang it. Because people, I actually do a lot of sitting. Right now I'm standing. I have a standing station set up. But it's been a minute. It's been a long winter. 2020, that's all we need to say. A lot of us did a lot more sitting. And I tend to think, "Oh, if I just exercise, then I can sit on my butt the rest of the day and do my work and not worry about it." But that's so not true. So this was saying people who exercise for 10 or 15 minutes 2 or 3 times a day have better health outputs than people who exercise for an hour and then sit down. So if you have a sitting job or, as a parent, new mom, you're nursing, that baby's getting fed 10 to 11 hours a day. There's not really much way to avoid that. So what they're saying is doing these little sections. So you could go for a 10-minute walk. You could lift weights for a few minutes. At the end of the day, you could get on the floor, do some stretching, maybe do some core work. You could do some stuff in a chair, get on your rebounder, your trampoline for a little bit, go for a walk with your kids, push the baby in the stroller, make a little love, all that, okay? All of it counts. I love that. I love that. I also love, some of those longer routines. I love getting into a groove once I find my groove and just going through and doing my motions and exploring and coming up with new things to film for everybody. But I also have days where it's the whole day has gone by and I'm like, do I do 5 minutes? Yes, I do 5 minutes. Right now, I'm working on a simple habit. And yes, it's a habit I am working on again because I kind of lost the habit at some point of doing something every day, logging a workout every day, whether it's 5 minutes or 45 minutes. The workout I logged, I decided to log this over the weekend, was pruning my raspberries because, wow, I was sweating and bending and lunging and reaching and clipping and shearing and tying and a whole long row of raspberries. It was a workout. I'm like, okay, this is going to be my workout today. We get to do that. We get to look at our real lives. So, the question I want to leave you with, and I would love you to drop this in the comments. I feel like my particular following is really shy about comments. And that's okay. I understand. But nobody's going to mock you. And it really does kind of feed how I'm talking and also feed what other people are thinking about. So think about that for this next one. But the thing I want to leave you with is, where are you going to interrupt the cycle of fear? Are you going to interrupt at the point of catastrophic thoughts and talk yourself through that and remind yourself, what's the best thing that could happen? We always think about what's the worst thing. What if the next time you're having catastrophic thoughts, you say, what's the best thing that could happen? Are you going to interrupt it at the point of disuse so that you're committing to use your muscles and use your bones, even just for a few minutes each day, whatever that looks like? Don't overthink it and do the things that feel good. Maybe that looks like finding an awesome C-section scar massage video. We have one on Fit2B. You can Google Fit2B scar massage to create some good sensations in that area again. It's massive. It really makes a huge difference. Maybe you're going to interrupt the cycle the next time you are having pain. What if in that moment you deliberately, when you are having pain, do something that feels good? Focus on a body part that's not hurting. Move something adjacent to the pain that's not hurting. We tend to use food to feel better when we're hurting. I would challenge you to do something different. um, Maybe it's finding a feather and running it gently over the area that's hurting. One trick I learned, and it works so great with kids. I volunteer with kids in my community once a week, and when they fall down, I do this thing with them. I say, I'm sorry. That looks like it really hurts. Hey, what's your favorite color? And they're like, huh? I know. It's red. Oh, my favorite color is teal. What color is the place that's hurting? Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Well, what color is it? And if it's bleeding, they usually say red, or they might say like orange or come up with some crazy color. They usually stop crying because now they're using a different part of their brain. They're not thinking about the pain as much. It's there, but they're thinking. And you're using the right brain, the creative side, to associate a color with the pain. And then I say, well, is there something that doesn't hurt? Well, my it really hurts. Yeah, but is there something that doesn't hurt elsewhere? Like, does your knee hurt? I'll point to a place that's clearly not injured. Does this hurt? Does this hurt? No. What color? And they might say the color of the clothing they're wearing, or they might again come up with some random color. And it works. It works. They'll actually start laughing. And I actually don't understand why. And I don't remember who taught that to me. I've done it on myself as well. I have taken myself through, Beth, what's your favorite color? What color is the place that hurts? Okay. Okay. What color is something that's not hurting? And just whatever color comes to my mind. So practicing strategies to shift your brain away from the pain. My dad has peripheral neuropathy. For him to go to sleep at night, he has to play the piano. If he plays the piano right after he takes his meds, then he can go to sleep because it uses his right brain. That's the right brain. Which the camera is opposite. It helps. It changes the neural output. It changes what's being sensitive. What I'm trying to do here is offer you control, offering you the ability to interrupt your cycle, to change things. I can't change the fact that I have a disc replacement. I can't change the fact that I dealt with a horrible miscarriage before my daughter came. I can't change the fact that I've had meniscus repair on my knee years and years and years ago. Those things are there. I have to take those things into account. But there's a lot I can use and a lot I can do and a lot I can overcome. And I have gotten stronger on the opposite side of all those things. And you can too. You can too. I hope this has been beneficial to you. I invite you to check out fit2b.com. We do fitness very different. There is very basic things, there's very creative things, there's long things, there's hard things, there's easy things. There's stuff for kids, there's stuff for prenatal and postpartum, there's stuff for grief. There's stuff for your buns and your arms. There's something for everybody. So if you've never been on Fit2B or you haven't been on in a while, check us out. And I am very active in our forum. I love connecting. Um, I love being involved with my clients. If you're a premium member, you get a free phone call with me. Like, we actually give you my phone number and you call me once a year. Nobody's ever broken that rule. I don't get calls at 2 in the morning. Hey, Beth, what should I do about my bicep? I don't get calls like that. People are wonderful. So, yeah, if you're looking for a different kind of fitness and a fitness brand that teaches you that a little bit is enough and that it does matter, and here's how to make it matter, and here's how to get more out of that little bit, that's us. All right, I am going to sign off and get on with my day. I wish you all the best day and a fearless week. Have a great one.